The red pill has failed men. I'm not even going to put as much editing in this video as I usually do. I might not even make an elaborate thumbnail. I don't even have a script. I'm just talking right now. And I know it's very difficult to listen to a random YouTuber or someone who has something to say with less than 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know that's difficult, and if you're still watching right now, I seriously appreciate you giving me your time out of your life to listen to this, right? The way this red pill community views women, it has got to stop. And I might not even address every point in this video because there are a lot of issues that men are facing nowadays, but I think the biggest one is their view of commitment to one person, you know? It's almost as if people think a real man is someone who has to be running through this circle of options because he's so high value, and since his time is so valuable and he's in such high demand, he must spread his energy to this select few group of girls to lead on or something. I want us to sit here and think about how much logical sense that doesn't make. And if you disagree with me, I'm very happy to challenge your point of view, but listen to this, right? You're probably a man watching this video, or a young man who wants to be a man one day. Say you have a daughter, or you had a daughter. Wouldn't you want the man that she brought home to look at you on the dinner table and say, yes, I promise I will protect your girl for the rest of my life? Wouldn't you want that for your daughter? Wouldn't you want your daughter to spend her valuable, limited time to have children with a man who's going to take her as seriously as possible? If you'd want that for yourself and your family, wouldn't you want that for your neighbor's daughter as well? What makes you so much more better than him that if you got your hands on his daughter, his interests don't matter to you? You're gonna skip the part where you meet the family, wait for marriage, promise her a future, and you go straight to the bedroom. Why? Because you're so valuable? And there are many layers to this as well. What kind of a girl throws herself at a man, right? If you want this quick rotation or this harem of girls to just be around you because you're such a high value man, right? What's going on in the mind of a woman who is okay with letting that happen to her? Okay with letting some high value man like you or some other red pillar on the internet, what would be going through her head to throw herself at someone like that and say, you know, he hasn't offered me any commitment. He doesn't seem to be serious. He keeps going ghost on me at night. He's barely texting me, but I will give him my body anyways because he's so valuable. Is that really all you are worth as a man? Chasing down girls with low self-esteem low enough that they'll let themselves get strung along by you because you're so valuable? Is your worth as a man chasing down these girls who aren't speaking to their fathers about the men they're being with, making it so easy for you? Is that your value, cherry picking these lost girls because you're so valuable you need them in your circle? You have to acknowledge the cognitive dissonance here for you to be enjoying this rotation of women that you're trying to build, acting as though someone doesn't love them back at home. You think their parents want that for her? You wouldn't want it for your daughter. Why are you doing it to this girl on the street? Here's another thing, right? Say you want a wife one day. The closer her body count is to 0, the better. Let's just be honest. We don't like thinking about the fact that other people came before us, right? We're dudes, I get it, right? The closer it is to 0, the better. If you know that's the case, why would you be a part of the problem and go out on these streets collecting this circle of girls, damaging her future husband's wife? Like, someone is going to marry that girl one day. What are you doing? If it's not going to be you, why are you doing this to her? Because she doesn't know any better? And she was in a position to let you take advantage of her because you're so high value? Is this why you go to the gym? Is this why you eat healthy and stack your money? Because Now you can finally have access to the women you want to that you couldn't in high school or something because you're so valuable and strong. If you're still watching, you're probably confused as to where this energy came from. So I'll give you some context now. I was watching some of the Whatever podcast. Some clips, and I saw someone comment, if you're a man with options, there's really no good reason to commit. I get everything I want from casual relationships. There's not much to gain from commitment. How could you say there's not much to gain from commitment if you know what it's like to have a woman devote her life to you? She calls you handsome, she cleans your room, she talks about the future with you, you plan on having children, you want to buy a house, she's beautiful, she has a gorgeous smile, you talk all day. And when you have one valuable girl, you're no longer scrolling away on these dating apps and spreading your energy thin because you're so thirsty and lonely, right? Trying to fill the hole inside of you. If you're no longer single and one girl has committed her life to you, you can now focus on your career because you know your family's coming. And you also know that when you get back home, someone who cares about you is there. How is there nothing to gain from commitment? I mean, you can only ask what kind of an experience some of these people have. I mean, it is the Whatever podcast after all, right? I mean, we're watching for our guilty pleasure. These silly girls get dunked on by smarter guys than them. I mean, that's the nature of the show. And of course, the people in the comment section aren't going to understand the things I'm saying in this video, but how could you say there's nothing to gain from being with a good woman? That's just insane. How could you find so little value in the opposite gender? I mean, I understand the mindset, but here's what I replied, right? There's plenty to gain from a woman that lives to serve you and make your life easier. You are only saying this because you never experienced that security before. I truly believe that if you're serving her and she's serving you, and you're both speaking about the future and how excited you are for it, and you're thinking about all this money you're gonna make, and she's talking about the vacations she wants to spend your money on, I mean, it's really fun. It's fun stuff, and I'm convinced that if anyone understands any of these things, these wonderful things that a woman has to offer, you could never say that there's nothing to gain from it. That's just wrong. We've only made it this far as human beings, this evolving species, because two people in the past chose each other over and over and over to make us today. How could you come out and say there's nothing to gain from that? Are you saying everyone who followed the word of God in the past is wrong? You just know so much more than them suddenly because now you have an iPhone and it's 2025 and it's the age of information. You just know so much better now? That just having one person in your life is just not enough, it's just not good enough, and there's nothing to gain from it? Really? Let's go on to his reply. He said, I've experienced it. That's why I know it's not needed. I don't need an easier life or security for a woman. I work to be a stronger man. You're just soft. He called me soft because I believe that women have plenty of value in making your life sweeter. I'm soft because I don't want to run through girls I'm not interested in. Correct me if I'm misinterpreting what he's saying. He said he's working to be a stronger man. One woman can't make you a stronger man? What? What? He's experienced that security before, he claims, and that's why he knows it's not needed. If you've experienced that and you know it's not needed, what in the world are you living your life for? Because with your mindset of, I don't need a woman in my life, how do you plan on raising a family and setting a good example for children? I mean, at that point, what are you becoming a better man for if not to protect the family you're going to build? why live, honestly? Like, if you don't have any devotion to a single woman, or multiple in his case, how do you plan on having children with them? I mean, that must not be your goal, right? And if it's not your goal to have a family, then why be so strong, right? What legacy are you carrying on? Who are you doing this for? Are you selfish? Because if you think about it, a man who is entitled to multiple women because he's just so high value and he's worked on himself, right? If you're entitled to multiple girls' attention, I mean, you are selfish, because if she's normal up here, chances are she's not going to be okay with it. And if you're out here on these streets collecting the attention of single girls and you're selling them a dream, or, oh, let's say if you're even being honest, I mean, be honest with yourself, actually. What kind of a mental health does she have? What kind of a man are you worth if you are giving your time and energy to a girl who is okay with this lifestyle? What kind of a person is she? Would you want to have kids with her? No. Why are you with her? Because you're so valuable? You know what the problem actually is? A lot of men's source of validation is not internal. It is external. They need the world to tell them they matter. They need multiple girls to tell them they're important. They need other people to praise them. They need to absorb that praise, right? Whereas, in my opinion, if you're a strong man, you yourself, you know that you are good enough. Of course, never stop working hard, but you don't need multiple girls in your bed to know that you're worth anything. You could find one woman, start a family with her, and raise and set a good foundation and example for your future children, and they'll have healthy internal validation sources because they've seen their parents with it, because dad is not running off at night every other night, because dad isn't making mom upset, and mom is super happy because she has the man of her dreams. You know, you want to do that for your children one day. So being called weak for understanding these things, it's just, some people are at a point in this whole red pill thing that I think they're just far gone, as like almost as though they're beyond saving. How could you value the gift that a woman could give you so little? Like, how could it be so meaningless what she can do for your home? How could having this strong family foundation, this nuclear family, how could that just be so far beneath you? You know? Back to the father example, right? You're gonna wanna know who your daughter is bringing home. You don't want a boy taking advantage of her. You raised that girl. That's your sweet girl. You don't want someone taking advantage of your daughter because she was easy to get with, because he said the right pickup line, or he had this and that car, or his muscles were this big, or this guy was tall. You don't want her getting freaking fooled by some dude. So why be that dude? Oh, but no, I'm weak because I'm not with multiple girls, right? You know what? Let me say this. I have been. I got it out my system. Some days I look back and I just ask myself, why? I know why. I know why I did it. I wasn't confident in here. I faced rejection most of my life. I know what it's like to be told no over and over. So it got to a point where I mastered the skill of being attractive, and I said, all right, now it's my turn to shine, right? What's the point, right? You meet them, you talk, you make her comfortable, you do the deed, maybe 1, 2, or 3 times, and then you realize you aren't for each other. Then you guys awkwardly fall off and stop talking forever, and then you do it again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. The amount of times I've said again, I could multiply that a few times if you guys want to know how many times I've done it. And now what? What are you left with after they've left, or you've left again? You're left with absolutely nothing. So what's the point of this alpha male rotation? Oh wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm a weak man for not agreeing with this lifestyle of taking advantage of other men's daughters, or a woman's lost mental state because she made it easy for me to get with her because she was lonely. No, I'm the weak man for not taking advantage of that. There's so much more I could say, but I'll end the video there. And once again, I am so very thankful for you watching this until the end. Now get out of here. Keep scrolling.